Welcome to my channel. This is Anais, Patreon Sage on YouTube. This is an intuitive week. Hi. Welcome to my channel. I'm Anais Salas, Patreon Sage on YouTube. Thank you for stopping by my channel. If you're a new subscriber, that's great. Welcome and thank you for subscribing. We're working to build the channel. If you're new to my channel, this is the first time you're visiting, thank you. You may want to click away because I only do intuitive readings. I don't necessarily use tarot in the traditional way, although sometimes I will. I tend to do my intuitive readings. I approach it from a jazz point of view, and because I'm reading for the Sacred Union Counterpart group who are ascending, and for the Twin Flame group who are working on their union ascension process, the readings are focused in that way, and I focus on each of the partners in the union, and I focus on what information we're working with, and I translate this as current energies to share with you. So let's begin. I do have out the Swan Card, which for me is always an indication that we're having an invitation to tune in to union energies between source and the masculine and the feminine energies that are part of co-creation. So we do have that validation. Now, next I'm going to look directly at the partners. We have our challenge here, which is how do we remove ourselves from the grasp of the snake energy that is strangling the three-dimensional world with binary code, with Vesica Pisces, and with all kinds of genetic mutations and other issues that have made it very difficult for a human being to thrive, survive, and be healthy. Okay, so that's our challenge. And so who are the people who are undertaking this challenge? So for the Divine Feminine, this is a beautiful snapshot of where your energies are at right now in the current dynamic of union. We have Dolphin, very emotionally free, very playful, very sensual, very balanced, very intelligent, great communicator, and a being that enjoys being in and around others in a sense of community. Then we have the bee, also true. Now, while the dolphin is a water being, the bee is an air being, and again, this is a creature that lives in community and thrives in community, serving its colony. So I love it that we have these circles of co-creation here, these beautiful spheres of purpose and information and environment. And then for the Divine Feminine, here we have you as the hummingbird, as a spiritual energy. This is a beautiful counterpoint to Dolphin, which is all about water and emotions, and to the bee, which is all about being in such a gorgeous relationship with the earth energy. The bee makes everything it touches better. It's responsible for 2/3 of our fresh food diet. And then we have the hummingbird here as a spiritual energy, which is quick, high vibration, just able to move about with such speed and such grace and such beauty. And so Divine Feminine, these are your energies right now. So you are bringing these energies to the challenge of how do we transform this? How do we get this energy out of ourselves? How do we leave this kind of energy behind? And when do we recognize it? How do we recognize it when it's trying to slither into our consciousness? Because it will continue to try. There's my favorite dog barking as soon as I talk about these team dark energies, man. The neighbor's dog barks. I think it's really interesting because the neighbor's dog is actually a wreck. It's a very, very messed up animal. So it's not surprising that I start talking about another messed up animal and it feels that energetic resonance. So here we have this snake strangling the reality, the environment in which we live. And you'll see that I've created my own version of this card that is free of snake and serpent energy. And this is where we're going. So this is what you divine feminine and you divine masculine are in another situation where you are bringing all of your divine brilliance to transform this I don't even want to say the words, but this is not a good thing. It's just not a good thing. We all know it now. It's pretty evident everywhere we go. Okay, so the divine masculine, you also have some really fabulous emotional smarts energy here with the octopus, who is able to interact and be these are incredibly intelligent creatures and shapeshifters, and they are masters of their environment. They're masters of camouflage, and they're incredibly comfortable in the water environment. And like the bee, they can taste with these tentacles, and I don't know how many people know it, but the bee actually tastes with the pads on its feet. Very, very interesting. Now here you are, divine masculine, in this gorgeous, emotionally intelligent, curious, bright, adept, emotional energy. And then here you are in your mental and physical space. You're coming across as the frog, which is a being that is comfortable in between the water environment and the land environment. And as its archetype, it is revered, and it represents cleansing. And so here you're cleansing your mental body of conditioning as you are coming out of the pain body that you have been brave enough to explore and look in every nook and cranny with your octopus emotional intelligence. This is really fun. And then, just like your counterpart here, you have air energy with the crow. Now, these two energies are complementary. The hummingbird is fast and quick and a very high vibration. Woohoo! And then you have the crow, which is crafty and clever and beautifully able to bring things into its environment that it needs. And here it is like it's holding the world. Beautiful, a big, intelligent air being, communicator, wise, and again, very, very clever and creative. So for me, this card this is a symbol of creativity in the realm of communication and air and thoughts. And the octopus is a symbol of creativity and intelligence in the emotional realm, as is the porpoise. Okay, so here's the challenge. How are these two union partners coming together with all of their skills and all of their wonderful awakening selves to deal with the big, giant cobra in the room, right? This really, for me, this card is absolutely indicative of the 3D construct and all that is coming undone right now and all that we are leaving behind on our ascension journey. So the counterparts are bringing the beautiful transformative energy of the butterfly, knowing how to change form from one thing to another, and then have a very different experience. The caterpillar crawls and has all these moving, complicated parts, and it crawls on the ground and it crawls on things, but the butterfly flies and is a much simpler, elegant creature, and it's an entirely different self than it is as a caterpillar. Now we also have the owl, and the owl, of course, is an archetype of wisdom and also being able to see in the dark. So here we have these extraordinary ascension energies being willing to deal with shadow elements and see in the dark, see this in the dark exactly for what it is, and then bring energy to it that is transformative, so that we go from this to this. All right, now, so this is you. You are dealing with this challenge right now, and this is something that you're doing in your union, and is part of the reason why you are in union, because this work really does have to be done. And human beings and all of the beautiful life diversity on planet Gaia, our planetary consciousness, and her earth body, this is our job right now. This is our task. This is very much a part of our ascension journey. It's about finding love in all of creation and aligning with it and respecting it and being able to be a responsible steward of those things that we touch and handle and manipulate. It's time for us to wake up to the amount of responsibility that we have. Ascension doesn't mean leaving your body and leaving the planet and leaving the mess behind. A lot of people think that's what's going to happen, but it isn't. What's going to happen is a transformation in which the caterpillar emerges from an environment that has wrapped around it, and it's part of this understanding that it has to come out of that cocoon or it dies. So that's the journey, and it's a beautiful thing. Now, what else is happening here? This transformation of this energy is very much, here we have from Brian Froud's deck, clarification, the undressing of the salad. This is, it seems to be as impossible a task as literally taking the dressing off of a salad that has got dressing all over it and it is about to be consumed. This would seem like it's an impossible thing to do, just as it would seem to us when we're in the 3D environment that it would be an impossible thing for us to transform from this to this. But this is our journey. This is our journey. And predominantly, this energy has been a patriarchal, masculine, distorted masculine energy. Now, there are definitely women who have been allies in this dynamic, and we know who those people are. They're the woman in the red dress, if you want to think about the Matrix movies. The program, the woman in the red dress who keeps unsuspecting targets from awakening to their real situation. So we have the undressing of the salad is part of the energy of getting the job done. It is ally energy. Now we have guardian at the gate. So here we are again. We're going into another timeline merge. I would imagine this will happen within the next day or two. We are approaching the fall equinox. Today, I believe that happened, and so we're in that, and that is also an opportunity to bring our energy and to run ourselves through some of these ascension gates and see how we do. Now, part of getting through the gate is literally detaching and leaving behind all that is not essential to your divine blueprint, all that is not original to your divine nature. It's a clean slate. So this is what you're working on as we're going into the last quarter of this year. We may have many opportunities to reset. We're resetting our consciousness. We're resetting our ideas of who we are and how we live. We're zero pointing our emotional patterns, and we're zero pointing and resetting our limited mental patterns and conditions. And if you don't know what they are, if you are not associated with what the inner work is about, I just go through this as shorthand because I'm usually thinking people know. but maybe you don't. So what is a mental pattern that you would want to reset? It might be a mental pattern that has you thinking thoughts frequently that you're not good enough, or that you're unlovable, or that you're a screw up, or that you don't deserve whatever, or that you're unattractive, or whatever the pain body is putting into your, and it's usually through the vagus nerve, is looping you through unloving and destructive thoughts that literally break down the energy of your physical body over time if you don't wake up to the fact of what you're doing to yourself. It's a self-inflicted death by a million cuts. And so the reset of a mental patterns is we have to learn to pay attention to every single thought. And you know you can hear your own thoughts. A lot of us don't pay attention to that until we get catapulted into the ascension journey. But we all have thoughts. And it's when you're finally free of your toxic mental body that is driven by an ego absolutely rooted in fear and terror, that suddenly you notice like you don't really hear those voices inside your head anymore that are constantly criticizing you or complaining or being judgmental or, triggering emotions of shame or going into denial and using the emotion of blame to just say, I didn't do it, it's your fault, right? So this is the resets that are coming up as we're moving through another gate. And you really need to know what's going on with that. So if you don't understand your pain body, if you don't understand how it got constructed, if you don't know how to deconstruct it, if you're using shorthand but you don't really know what it means to purge, or you're not really sure how to meditate, this is a great place to come to. You can find me on my Patreon page. I've been teaching these dynamics for a long, long time because we're going to have another wave of people awakening into union, and the union is about coming into union with Source first, and then coming into union with yourself, either as a divine masculine predominant energy or a divine feminine predominant energy, and then balancing the creative energies of electro and magnetic within your own body. That's what it's all about. And once you've come through a certain number of recalibrations, which I prefer to call them recalibrations, and your DNA has been activated, guess what? You stop learning all these freaking lessons and you start becoming a co-creator. Every time someone says, I learned a lesson, it just means that they just activated a tiny little smidgen of their DNA. And we've been programmed to believe that that was a spiritual karmic lesson we just learned, when in fact, what we just did was activate more of our DNA. So we don't, you know what I mean? Like it's good to keep it simple. So if you're just learning about this and you'd like to have another perspective, I'd be delighted to help you out, as my life is living proof of how this stuff actually really works. So we have a timeline merge coming up, and all of us, the entire collective, on this next timeline merge will be dialing up our frequency, dialing up our vibration to once again, in a sense, surround this pattern, this anti-life pattern, and dissolve and transmute and neutralize another huge chunk of it. That's what we're doing with this union. That's what Source is asking to have our help with this process. Okay. So, clarifying the dolphin, we have the energy of unity. And again, this is from Brian Froud's Fairy Oracle Step, which I love. So the vibration, the energetic balance of electromagnetic energy aligned with Source, this is such a beautiful energy that is absolutely carried and embodied by Dolphin. This is Dolphin Energy. And right now, those who are here and have in their DNA dolphin cetacean genetics, they're being very, very active right now to wake up into the DNA activations that will bring them into unity. All right, then we have B. B is being clarified, oh, beautiful, by Shia the Krach, which is in the Celtic or Celtic, depending on how you want to pronounce it, culture. She is the mother of all creation. She is the equivalent of this beautiful magnetic black egg. And this is such a gorgeous representation here, because the honeybee, the queen of the hive, and all the worker bees are all female. And so this is a beautiful insight into the spiritual nature of what happens in our world and all the work and service that is done by a honeybee, who goes through every stage of what is needed in the hive. From the moment they're born, they come out and they start working for the good of the colony. They come out as nurses, and then they make wax, and then they learn how to clean the hive and do all kinds of things before they fly out to become the mature worker bee, all female, who go out and collect the honey and the nectar and the water and come back, bring that to the colony, pass it all around. They're fabulous communicators, and then store more than enough reserves to keep the hive through hard times. So this is a beautiful matchup of energy, honeybee and Shia the Kruach for the divine feminine. This is wonderful. Okay, now clarifying the hummingbee, yeah, we have ecstasis or ecstasy. You can see this is a visual match of energy here. This is so beautiful. And the divine feminine is feeling the ecstasy of being not only empowered right now in these recent shifts, but feeling she's able to trust her own nature and to trust her own spiritual journey and to just relax. And she's not worried anymore about it. Is it coming? Isn't it coming? When's it coming? Where is it, right? This is simply full-on beautiful trust in the process. So the divine feminine is bringing that into this project of transmuting this team dark, anti-life energy in the three-dimensional world. Okay, now, for the divine masculine, clarifying octopus, we have he of the fiery sword, which is absolutely a match to, this is the divine masculine energy, this is the divine feminine energy, and here we have the octopus in this beautiful balance. This is you, divine masculine, in your emotional intelligence and how you're expressing right now. You are balanced in your feminine energy and balanced in your masculine energy. 50-50 is no more. It's 1/3 source, 1/3 feminine, 1/3 masculine, and then all of this beautiful emotional intelligence comes into your manifestation. So you're probably thinking in new ways, feeling in new ways. Your physical body may be changing. You may be moving necessarily from one kind of diet into another. Your body's giving you information about what you need to eat, what you need to drink, what you don't need to eat, what you shouldn't be drinking. And so this is a beautiful, powerful symbol of connection here that is then embodied, and all parts of the body are interacting with this energy and being responsive to it. And then we next, for the clarification for the frog, we have the Rar card, which is about, think of it as nuclear atomic power that is being shared between counterparts to do this cleanup. This is beautiful, right? So yes, this is a divine masculine feeling completely awake and empowered and having the intuition and the inner knowledge now to understand what his role is in cleaning up this mess. Beautiful. And then last out for the divine masculine, here you are. Yeah, this is the sage. And what a beautiful clarification for the crow. The crow is clever, the crow is wise, the crow is a survivor, the crow is a co-creator. And the sage, you divine masculine, here you are coming into your wise self, your higher self, bringing so much beautiful spiritual energy and insight into your everyday life experience. That is just gorgeous. So we have a couple of cards out for guidance cards, and this is then I will be finished with this reading. I'm doing a number of short readings tonight because I'm doing healing sessions again. I took a break from doing energy healing sessions for almost an entire year. And then I got the guidance today that I could return to doing that work. So I had a beautiful client session today, and I'm so thrilled. So here is one of my cards, and this is from the suit of creativity. These are my angel bees. And the message is they're talking to each other. They're exchanging information, not unlike real bees. And the message is fire, passion, bring it to this process. Light yourselves up. We've got a lot of water here. We have water and air, and now we have some additional fire, some passion to bring into this process here. And from the truth, the suit of truth, we have share it. Yes. So this is all about really appreciating who you are at a multidimensional level and beginning to bring through your gifts and your talents and sharing all of that with the collective, wherever you are, wherever it's most easily and joyfully done in your life. And then from the Gaia suit, this is the suit for Gaia. This is my symbol for Gaia and our beautiful conscious planetary being. And we have the third way, which is yes, right? How do we understand that for so long we haven't been living in the third way? It was all about Vesica Pisces. And binary code, it's either black or white, it's either this or that. And the third way of being connected to source was nowhere to be seen and has been eroded and eroded and eroded as people have awakened to some of the difficulties with Orthodox religion and how Orthodox religion can be a separator of humanity rather than a unifier of humanity. So this is beautiful. So we have that speaking to us of the third way, which now includes source. So you may be waking up to this energy in your life in a really big way, and I hope that you are. It's an amazing experience. And then lastly, we have out for guidance. This is one of my favorite designs in the series of paintings that I've done. And this is a soul group task. Absolutely. The work that we're doing, absolutely cleaning up this mess and transforming and transmuting and getting ourselves out, liberated out of our pain bodies and into our higher dimensional consciousness. This is a soul group task, and we are doing it. Okay, so that's where your next timeline is going to take you. It's going to be on dealing with these energies and going through another timeline shift. So drink lots of water, take good care of yourself, take a nap if you need it, rest, 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 and more rest. I want to see if there's any other clarifications that need to come out. I don't think that there are. This is beautiful. A short reading. Okay, hope you've enjoyed it. Please do like, share, and comment. I read all the comments and I will get back to you. Please help me grow this channel. We need to have more perspectives on the ascension journey and the twin flame process and sacred union. Okay, bye-bye. Till next time.